This portion of Local Lifestyles is brought to you by UVet.
I'm at UVet in Newburgh with Dr. Catherine Turpin, and just seconds ago, she just had an armful of weasels. They're here somewhere. We'll get to show you. So tell us who they are.
Well, we've got Fred, George, and Jenny, the Weasleys.
The Weasleys. The Weasleys.
And
what are they? Because I asked you, they're not a feline, it's a...
They're ferrets.
Okay.
So they're mustelids. They're kind of... not quite in the felid group. They have very similar health issues, though, to
and
cats.
That's why they're here.
Yes, these guys are actually, they have their own health issue that is very common among ferrets because of the overbreeding in that population. Almost all ferrets end up with some degree of adrenal disease or insulinoma.
Okay.
So these guys have insulinoma.
So we're talking about blood work, and especially for exotic animals, which we would classify these. So what are the recommendations about how often you do blood work? How do you know when you need it?
Right. So I personally recommend that all small mammals and all birds get at least once a year blood work, because a lot of these little exotic critters, they hide illness extremely well, and then they crash and burn when they can't compensate anymore. And so if we're doing things once a year at least, then we have a better chance at catching it before they're super sick, when we're still able to treat it and do something about it. It's also because these guys are so small, there's only a limited amount of blood you can take, and it's safer to take that blood when they appear healthy than when they're already on death's door.
Great point. Now, you know, when people buy pets like this, what's your advice? And before you buy, what do you need to know about animals like this, exotic animals?
Right, so it's good to do a little research into, you know, what are some common illnesses that these kids get? Because, you know, with a weasel per se, with a little ferret, you're potentially signing up for, once they hit 4 to 5 years of age, some pretty involved health care needs. And so people don't realize that, and then when that comes along, they, you know, send them off to a rescue or to the shelter, and they don't necessarily have the means to take care of them the way that's needed either, because when these guys have insulinoma, they require very regular feedings, and they can have hypoglycemic crisis or low blood sugar very, very suddenly out of nowhere.
So it's just, there are lots of things to know before you bring these wonderful animals into your house. When you get blood work, how quickly do the results come back?
So we have the ability to run our basic chemistries in-house, so we know how their liver, kidneys are doing. We know what their blood glucose is. We can do a CBC on mammals if we can get enough blood. So it just depends on the size of the patient and how much blood we can get, because we're not always successful in these little kids. You know, their vessels are smaller, harder to hit, blow more easily. But if we can get enough, we can run pretty much everything we can do in a dog or cat in these guys in-house. And then we also can do, for some of the animals that have nucleated red blood cells, which mammals don't, we can do manual counts for white blood cells and things like that.
So your professional recommendation is, if you're bringing your pets in for a yearly checkup, should this just be the blood work should just be part of it?
Yes, that's my recommendation, is that at least once a year. And then in ferrets, you know, once they hit like 4 years, I recommend twice a year checking blood sugar so that we can catch insulinoma before they're super sick. And in some of the other animals, like reptiles, I don't always check it all the time because it's super hard to get, but their blood work also can be very hard to interpret. So sometimes it's a challenge.
So interesting, and that is why we come to you. So this is Dr. Turpin at UVet, and bring your ferrets and your turtles and your snakes and your cats and dogs. They'll take good care of them. We'll be back with more lifestyles right after this. Stick around.
This portion of Local Lifestyles is brought to you by UVet.